Hey guys, Cody here from Dark Owl Archery, and I just wanted to do a in-depth overview of the Radium sight bar. If you guys were at ATA and stopped by, thank you guys. It means a lot. This bar had a lot of good praise to it over the past weekend, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. There are some minor changes that are still in the development of this, but it's overall going to be the same, way the same, everything like that. We're just making minor tweaks in it, making it a little bit better for you guys. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can really see everything. I'm going to dive into depth with everything with the sight bar. So we're going to hop in. Okay, so we're going to start off with the main premise of this sight bar, which is you have your macro elevation and your micro elevation all on one bar. So these two systems are technically separate from each other, but in order to activate your micro adjust, you need to be in the lock position, which is this gear turned forward. So this is a cam lock. There is no tension lock with this. So it's either in the lock position or the unlock position. So to unlock it, you simply turn this wheel backwards towards you as the shooter, and then you can do your big adjustments, lock it back in, and then you can use your micro elevation adjustments. This micro elevation adjustment will not work without this being locked. So just remember that. You can keep this unlocked and it's not going to move, but if you want to use your micro, it needs to be locked. So that is the main function of that. This locking and unlock system was a big hit this past weekend. I think shooters really like the fact that there's no in between. You're not going to forcibly move something. It's either going to move or not move. So if it's locked, it's not going to move. So it's not that it's tight on the rail. It's just it physically cannot move. So there's that wheel system. This does have a ton of travel to it. So your rail is big, but it may be a little bit hard to do like this. But if it's on the bow, you can get a really good movement out of that. For most people, you're going to be past your tape with that. So you do have a really good gearing system that is going to function well with that. Now I'm going to go over the axis adjustments. So we have our first axis right here. We have our third axis lock, third axis adjust, and up front we have our second axis adjust. So with this, you're going to receive this tool. This is our first axis tool. So essentially that is going to bolt onto the rail here. And this is removable, so you're going to do your micro adjustments with this tool, and then it actually locks. So then you can take this off and then take it with you, put it in your backpack, put it in your bino harness, just in case you possibly fell or you dropped your bow and you just want to check your first and second axis alignment. You can use that tool. It also holds all your Allen wrenches. So then you have every tool that you need to make your adjustments. So yeah, to do your third axis, you're going to unlock the top, and then you can do your micro third axis adjustment with that, and then crank down this top screw, and that's going to hold the whole thing in place. Up front, your second axis, you're going to slightly loosen the top one, and then slightly loosen the bottom one, and then you can align your second axis, which is the bubble, compared to your rail. Those two need to align. So that's going to be your second axis. With all these axis adjustments, they have a beveled washer to them. So essentially, it's in the natural state, it's like this, and when you tighten it down, it's going to compress, and they're actually serrated also. So imagine them digging into both the metal of the sight bar and of the screw. So when it does that, it has anti-vibration properties to it, and then it actually takes more force to loosen it than it did to tighten it down, because you're going against the serrations. So your axis adjustments are going to stay very, very tight, and you can tighten down a lot and they're not going to move. The next part about the sight, one of the features is this removable block system. So you can essentially attach and disattach scopes very quickly. And there's just a screw that is over top. And then focus. Yep, there's just a screw over top here that you'll loosen, and then you can take this off. Now, with this, you have both your macro, which is this big section right here, and your micro on the removable block. So what this allows you to do is you can actually switch between like a 31mm scope and a 41mm scope, set them both up independently, and then you can swap back and forth. So if you want to go target shooting and want your 31, you can have that. And then if you want to go back to your hunting scope and you put your 41 on, they're both independently set up, so you don't have to mess with your micro adjust on your actual sight bar itself. So most sight bars nowadays, your micro adjustment is actually on this block right here. And then if you switch between scopes, you actually have to redo your micro adjustments. So you don't have to do that with this system. Also, with this removable block, this screw right here can be removed, and for the target guys, if you want to do a little tilting, you can do that with your scope. And then we will have indicating marks on here for your angle. So, and then also over top, you have an additional lockdown for your micro adjust. It shouldn't move. It's pretty tight. It won't move without with that being unlocked, but it is an additional thing that we wanted down there that it will keep it locked and keep that secure. So moving on to the front part of the sight bar here, you do have a removable blank tape. So you'll have your setup tape that you can put on here, figure out what sight tape that you need. They will be a vinyl tape. Comes with 40 of them. They're done by Precision Cut Archery. Very, very good setup tapes. That being said, I do believe that you guys should be using a custom tape, and that's why they come with these vinyl ones, because I think that you guys are probably going to be using a custom tape anyways. So we're not going to be doing metal sight tapes as of now. It may be an option in the future. I seem to have a lot of people requesting them, so that may be something that we do. This block itself is actually removable, so if you guys want to remove that to put your tape on there, you can do that. It makes it really easy. Also, if you want to switch back and forth between different setups, you can get a second block here, and then you can actually have those set up independently. Now, with this gearing system, I'm just going to point this out. It's really hard to tell, but the gear wheel is right here, and this whole system is going to be removable. You can remove that whole system, and this wheel and gear is actually very tight in there, and you don't have much of that exposed. I did that on purpose. I wanted to keep that nice, secure, and protected. So I know some companies have a nice big gear in there. This one is small, but you do have a lot of movement with it just because of the gearing that we chose on this. So that's nice and protected in there. Now I'm going to show you guys how to switch this over to a target setup, and it's pretty easy. So when you get this sight, it's going to be set up with the gear rack installed here, and then your lock and wheel installed. So there is a screw that you will go and access from the bottom side actually, and that is going to be how you get your locking knob off. So once you get your locking knob off, you can take your wheel and gear off in one piece here. You set that aside. You'll take your gear rack off, which I already did for this demonstration, and then you will reinsert your locking knob. And you'll see at the bottom of this cam pin, there's actually a couple detents in there. It's going to go into the second detent. It's going to slide in there. You have a nice small secure system there, and then it's going to function the same. You will, once you tighten that down, you're able to turn it backwards, unlock it, make your slide movements, slide that up and down, turn it back forward, lock it in, and then you can use your micro movements. Now I am working on a bracket for this. I'm just going to pop that on there so you guys can kind of get the idea. But there's going to be a bracket here and a little spacer for your sight scale. It will come with a sight scale also, and then you can buy this bracket and the indicator for it if you guys want to turn this into a true target setup. So that's how that functions. But overall, guys, that is the Radium sight bar in its full overview. The dovetail version with your bracket. This is a nice low profile bracket. Yes, this one is in raw, but nice low profile. You can get that thing in super tight on your bow. Actually, with my PSE Sicario, actually sits right about here. So that is how far it's sticking out of the bow itself. So you can get that nice and tight, or if you want to, you can extend that nice far and out. 8 ounces for this one. Your Matthews and your pick mount are 5.9 ounces. But yeah, guys, check them out on darkowlarchery.com. As always, if you have any questions about this sight bar, please let me know. Like I said, it was a big hit at ATA. I plan on doing a couple podcasts with some people and getting this really out there for you guys to take a look at even more. But we're looking like probably May, June, getting these shipped out. So if you guys want one of these, order sooner than later. Orders are coming in pretty quick, so that does push you back in the queue for things. So yeah, that's the Radium. Thanks, guys.